Hey everybody, welcome to Camping with Steve, the year-end review. It's been a crazy year. We began with 435,000 subs. Now we're over 800,000, so that's awesome. Means pretty much half of you are new this year, and it's been a big year. I was looking over what we've done this year, and it seems strange that it's all been crammed into one year. But I've divided things into 4 categories. What was the most fun? The videos that got the most views, the bad, and the good. So, a bit of a clip show, but before we get into any of that, I'm gonna crack a beverage. This I found at a local store, and it seemed oddly familiar. Billy's Cream Ale. The hat on there seems strangely familiar. Really good beer though, so crack that, and delicious. So, last year at this time, we were just starting out with some of the winter stuff. We were limited to the frigid temperatures in Alberta, and that's when we get into the most viewed. But this one was just absolutely off the charts this year. The tent inside a tent camping. When I saw that it was doing so well, I really wished I'd done a better job of the video. I was a little unprepared, but I just kind of saw what happened with the tent inside of a tent. If I could go back, I would probably use a better thermostat. The one I had didn't accurately measure the inside temperature versus the outside, so it was still a fun video for sure, but that was the big one of the year. Was the tent inside of a tent, of all things, just when I thought I was running out of ideas. And today I'm going to set up a tent inside of a larger tent and try to heat it with candles. So that's what it's all about today. This one doesn't even have a wick. Oh my. One casualty, but I'll light the rest of these and we'll see what that will do for our interior temperature. I know with enough of these, this thing would be downright tropical. Good morning. It wasn't the warmest sleep, but it also wasn't the coldest. I've been colder than that before. Our morning temperature outside is saying 2 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 17 Celsius. Holy moly, looks like everything kind of got reset on here. Oh, that was a good one. The next, I guess, most popular one for the year was the storm drain camping. And as soon as I saw that storm drain, I knew I wanted to camp in it. I tried to wait as long as I could for the weather to get better, but it did not. I remember before filming that, I was sitting in the bar, just kind of procrastinating. And I dropped my stuff off, went for a pint, and I said, okay, I'm going to walk back and leave the car at the bar, camp for the night, and then get a ride back with Crazy Neighbor. When that vehicle pulled up on top, I said, it's possibly Crazy Neighbor playing a joke on me, I don't know. But it wasn't. In fact, he was enjoying some step 2s at home and wouldn't have been driving at that time anyways. So it was an interesting experiment. I saw actually Post 10's done a really good one. He built a good shelter inside of a culvert storm drain, and so that was the next big one of the year. We're gonna camp in a culvert tonight. So the first things first is to make sure the coast is clear. We're going to throw a whole bunch of gear down into the ditch. And I think it looks good. Caught. Down you go. Propane. Sleeping bag. I thought the wind in there was bad, but it's pretty bad out here too. So let's get back in there. I'm really shocked by how thin of a layer of road there is. on top of this. What could go wrong? Somebody's parked right on top. Light. Somebody's parked right on top of the culvert. Why would they park right here? This is a list of the mistakes I made. I did not bring a sleeping pad. I figured that hanging up a couple of tarps and putting this heater inside of it would be sufficient. The tarps didn't exactly work out as planned because this acts like a wind tunnel and it just blows them around too much. Oh, fun times there. The last one on the list of the most viewed here that I'm going to touch on was the businessman episode where I dressed up as a businessman. Some people have said I look more like a hitman, but all I could really find was a suitcase that would actually fit the gear. Briefcase would be a little bit tight. So that was the beginning of another concept of, you know, the construction worker disguise, or possibly other disguises in winter, because in winter the amount of gear to do stealth is just too much to possibly carry in a backpack at these temperatures. Got a flat tire now on the car, so I'm hunkered down at the acreage, hopefully gonna get that tire fixed tomorrow and get back in to see beautiful wife for the actual New Year's Eve. But yeah, the businessman, that was an interesting one, and it was really fun though too. So I picked up this suit jacket from the thrift store for 10 bucks. I picked up this guy for $4.99. And I can fit all the camping gear in here. So I'll just walk around acting like I'm coming back from a big meeting downtown or something, maybe meeting an important client, and then I'll slip into the woods when the time is right. So let's try this out. It's time to go. What's inside the bag? Here we go. Got sleeping bag, the hammock, so I'll take out of there. Got the isobutane, as well as, I hope the thermocell is in here. Yep. So I can turn this on to keep the bugs away. My flashlight, which I'll use sparingly a little later on. I brought some onions because we're just doing some smoked sausages today, because it's easy and we're working with a super small kit. Got the Thermarest, the Neo Air Pad. I don't know if I'll use that tonight. The less gear I can set up, the better, generally. And then I got the stove, these telescopic wiener roasters, so I can cook the smokies out here, and that'll be good. So this is what I'm going to do for right now. Just lay low and enjoy a frosty Moosehead lager. Now the storm's blowing in pretty severely. The rain's starting to come down and the wind is whipped up, and the lightning just won't stop. So I'm going to see if I can film a little bit of that lightning, because this is just what I like, a good storm. I am out of here. Just like that, back on the trail. Perfect crime. For me, the most fun video this year was the boat trip, and I'm not even going to try to condense that into a snippet. It was just a phenomenal trip. We do that every year. This is the third year we've done it. Just seeing how far we can get down the river. It's like all the pressure's off for stealth. I can sit there and, you know, film a time lapse of the sun setting, and it's really great. And being out there with Crazy Neighbor every year is just awesome. We didn't get as far as we wanted to, and we couldn't use the boat we originally built. But I do have, that's in the bad pile, is the boat we built. So anyway, the next most fun one that I did this year was the bus on the logging road with Beautiful Wife. That was what it's all about. Met up with Foresty Forest on that trip. It was an absolute blast. And when the bus gets rolling again, we're going to get it out more. Got a heater to put it in for the winter, one of the diesel ones. But the bus trip was the most free I've felt in ages, away from the work being done on the house or anything else. I didn't even have cell phone service, so it was it was pretty relaxing, and it was a great trip. Well, this is where I've found for us to camp tonight. We've got a fire pit there, of course. Got our own little creek. That is so cool. We got a bunch of rams out there just chowing down. This is actually an airstrip, and it's a STARS Air Ambulance emergency landing spot. But I'm gonna let these rams feast there, and I'll get out of their way because it looks like they could ram into me with those horns. Right on. So the next most fun one, I guess, was the huge tarp that Crazy Neighbor and I strung between the SUVs. That was a way bigger tarp than we thought. You know, we were trying to imagine in our minds how many feet we need for a tarp between the two vehicles, and when we threw it on there, it just kept unraveling and unraveling until we could fit basically both SUVs and a picnic table underneath, and you wouldn't even see any of the car pretty much. So that was a blast. It just looked so hilarious to see that thing sitting there in the campground. That, you know, I put these campgrounds through a lot of stuff, and they see some very strange things, whether it's the homemade canvas tent or me using a shower curtain for a shelter. They've seen it all, but that one, you'd do a double take if you saw it. So that just on its own right made it one of the funnest ones, and it's always nice to have the company around. Fancy seeing you here.
Hi, Steve.
Who needs an RV when you got a tarp and two cars, eh? Yeah.
Hook on to something underneath.
Okay. Got these magnets here. Oh, there's a loonie on there. It's a Canadian dollar. We got these from when I slept in the storm drain. We can put 3 on each car, but we've also got extra tie downs. Make use of the biggest and heaviest logs to hold this down, and we'll take a tour inside. Cheers, Crazy Neighbor.
Cheers, Steve.
What a fine structure.
That's a perfect fit. Love it.
Somewhere. All right. I want to do the bad things before I get to the good, because the good are really good, and the bad things aren't even all that bad. They were just disappointments for the year. I guess the first was the boat. We'd planned to build that huge contraption, get it onto the river. It ended up a lot heavier than we thought, and the river was a lot lower by the time we actually got it out there. And that would get stuck in about a second. And we would have had the fire department out there after us with a big bill to get that boat out of there. So that was the first one, and the boat never actually made it, I don't think, onto the main YouTube channel in its finished form. I did a step 2 video on that, and this is what happened with the main boat we tried to build. He's got AutoCAD'd up some drawings here, and we're about to probably feed that into the CNC machine here.
Yep.
And do some cutting.
Yep, that's right. So everything below this red line here is what you have. Everything above the red line is what we're building.
Okay, we're up. Oh, there's a lip there. Okay. Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Landing skipper. Excellent.
Things are looking up.
Oh, good, good, good.
What I like the best is great.
So of course the most recent one that didn't go as planned was when I almost got busted there behind those houses. And I always think I have a great excuse or can talk my way out of things, but when the flashlight is on me, I pack up and run. I didn't want to stick around and find out or have to explain anything. With stealth camping, I suppose the worst that would happen is like $100 fine for camping in a city park after hours, probably an open liquor ticket, and if I have a fire, I don't do those anymore, but that's a serious fine. That's, you know, $500 And then it goes up from there, doubling every time you're having a fire in a city park that's not in a fireplace. So we've just seen this recently, but this was a bit of a nail biter for me, and I'm glad it's over. Just following in a little game trail here. There's been a little bit of activity, but not much. Wanting to avoid the main walking trail for obvious reasons. But despite how dark it looks, it's only like 5 p.m. And in these neighborhoods, I don't want to go in too early because there's like still kids playing and stuff. And you know, the sun sets at 4:20. The days are finally getting longer. Long last. Somebody up there with a flashlight. By earlier. He came back with a flashlight. I think he called the cops. Packing up. Either my ride's here or that's the police. And the straps broke on the backpack. I was worried about that. Have to do some surgery on that. Yeah, that's the ride. Good. Okay. That was interesting. So I guess the last one of the unfortunate things for the year was the BC trip. And I've been planning this for a couple of years. Last year we couldn't do it due to some certain restrictions, which we won't mention about. But this year I figured it was smooth sailing. Unfortunately, there was the 1 in 200 year flood that wiped out every single road between the coast and here. And I found myself halfway there. And I guess the big thing was to try to extend the fall. You know, we don't really get an autumn here. It just kind of turns into winter, and I knew this minus 30 was coming and minus 40, that it's really tricky to film any stealth or anything like that. So I wanted to get a couple filmed so I could take my time and really do the cold weather stuff properly equipped and planned. So that didn't go as well as planned, but not going to give up on it. Soon enough, be back out there. Hey everybody, welcome to white knuckling down a winding mountain road in a snowstorm with Steve. We're just on the way out to the coast where there's supposed to be less snow than this. So I'm just gonna stop filming and focus on driving here.
The city of Abbotsford has declared a local state of emergency, all due to extreme rainfall that has led to mudslides and localized flooding here.
This area has been hit by more rain in the last 2 days than Vancouver gets on average for the entire month of November.
So of course it's snowing now. There's a lot of other issues. The fiber optic lines were actually wiped out in that flood. So there's been spotty cell service, internet's hit and miss, and the panic buying's begun. So there you have it. If you like fresh produce or meat, don't come to BC. Actually, they don't want you to come here anyways right now. They're saying, you know, essential only travel. So how essential is making a stealth camping video? I don't know. In their eyes, probably not very essential. Oh yeah. So there's been a lot of really great things this year. I honestly can't complain. Those bad things, just inconveniences really. Or things not going the way I'd envisioned, which is a part of life. On the top list of the good things are all the awesome subscribers that have come on board this year. I look at the comments and I'm just blown away with how how supportive and positive everybody is for the most part. It's a really great community. I think it's one of the best communities in any YouTube chat group or comment section out there. Beautiful wife watches a lot of other channels, and she says, by far, I've got like the nicest subscribers. So thank you all, and it really makes a huge difference as far as, you know, getting out there, and, you know, I feel like I'm with family, you know, with this whole group. So cheers to everybody, and Happy New Year's there. Of course, Garbage the cat was another great silver lining on things at the acreage here. Kitty wandered in. I didn't anticipate I would be in the market for a cat in any way, just with the amount of camping we do, and with so much stuff, it's hard to arrange for a pet to be taken care of. I didn't know if a cat would want to be camping. I still haven't found that out yet. Probably not winter camping, but sweetest little guy walks into the house. We got him checked out at the vet. We looked around to see if anybody's missing the cat. He's been all tuned up and everything you need with a new cat. But he's probably 6 months old when he wandered in here. And very strange. I was skeptical at first because a stray cat that wanders in, I don't want to touch it. Is it going to hiss at me or scratch me? And Michael, the boat builder, was out and just reaches over and pets him and picks him up. And I was like, that's a feral cat. You can't just do that. But Garbage was a very chill cat, and is now hunkered down with a beautiful wife as I'm out here at the acreage with a flat tire. So the other really cool thing was the 40th birthday this year. I'd invited kind of an open invite to subscribers who were in the area, or whoever was willing to drive to some little town in central Alberta. And it was a great turnout. It was like I was among friends. It was fantastic. First time in a while I've been able to just relax. I didn't have to worry about anything really. People were coming up, and you know, we took a lot of pictures, a lot of step twos, and people were very kind. They brought me some step twos as well, so I had no shortage there for a couple of days. I actually had to get the hotel room there at the bar for another night, just to kind of get through some of the presents that were dropped off. But and I guess one of the biggest ones for the year, which I'm so thankful for, is this house. We bought the place basically because it was what we could afford. There's a lot of acres and it sounds impressive, but the house is in absolute distress. Maybe a tear down. We got this like cheaper than even the worst house in the city. Like, this was definitely cheaper. And it's a great location. There's a lot of acres, and the house looked really impressive in the pictures. And of course, I knew there could be problems, and I knew we may have to tear the thing down to start over. But the first engineer we had out looked at it and said, nope, I can't even give you any advice on this. I can't even come look at it or I'll lose my license. And we're pretty devastated. We said, well, I guess we'll get a second opinion, and we did. The second engineer came in and told us what we needed to do, and we've got through some of that work here, but the house can be saved, which was a big thing for us. We did like the house, and we thought, you know, even if we put in the money that it would cost to rip it down and build a new one, at least we've kept the original vision of the guy who built this place, and we've stayed true to what our original goal was. So being able to save this place is a huge thing for us, and we are so thankful for that. And as far as the new year, what's coming up, I don't know. Probably some more travel, because we got to get away from the town that I've stealth camped in every spot that I've found so far, and we will be making some miles, hopefully this year start to travel depending on how things go and take the show on the road. Stealth camp across Canada, maybe United States, unless they ban me from entry because of my stealth camping tendencies. So we'll see. The bus will be getting back out there once we fix the fuel leak. It's kind of a never-ending list of things to do. But thank you for watching so far, and cheers to all of you and your loved ones. And feels like we're all a family. So Happy New Year's to everybody. I hope things are bright in the new year, and that everything goes great for all of you, as well as can be expected in this day and age. So thanks again, and from Crazy Neighbor, Beautiful Wife and I, and Garbage, Happy New Year's. Wishing you all an awesome 2022. Cheers.